My name is Natasha Ngindi. I am a nutritionist and a certified Zumba instructor. I also do some body positive advocating work, and I studied nutrition at the University of Saskatchewan. My roots are South African and Zimbabwean. My current area of work is non-diet nutrition within nutrition. So basically what I do is I help people that are struggling in their relationship with food and their body and exercise, and I help them get to a point of more sustainable wellness without focusing on the scale. And then what I do as a certified Zumba instructor is I show people that you can be healthy regardless of your size. So I do host weekly Zumba classes where I have a class and we just have fun. We enjoy the music without focusing on our weight.
My name is Esimen Sima Ekwam. I am from Ghana, West Africa. I'm a Fanti. I am enrolled in the Master of Public Administration with the Johnson Shoyama Graduate School of Public Policy. I want to impact a lot of lives, and so I'm in the policy program.
My name is Victor Ejike. I am a registered nurse, and I'm also the founder of Afro Tribes Festival. I was born in Nigeria, although I'm Canadian now. I'm also an alumni of the University of Regina.
My name is Sadia McInnes. I am originally from Kenya. I came from Kenya 18 years ago as a graduate student. Came here, I met my ex-husband, had 2 children, ended up finishing my master's degree, and just loved being in Regina, ended up staying here. I work at the University of Regina, Johnson Shoyama Graduate School of Public Policy. I work as a faculty administrator. My responsibilities are mostly the HR aspect of it, so I do the hiring, work with the staff to get them trained, to make sure they have what they need in order to be able to support the academic mission of the school, and I work with the director to do the budgeting for the school as well.
Within my profession, some of the challenges that I experience very regularly are misinformation and diet culture, because it is everywhere. So every day I am learning about the newest fad diet that's coming out. I'm hearing all these stories, and I have to find ways using evidence-based research to educate people on the dangers of following all the diet myths that diet culture is constantly pushing out. And on a more personal level, I feel like discrimination is something that I struggle with. So not only for being a provider in a larger body, but also just as a Black woman in a larger body. And that really manifested even as a student. My time at the University of Saskatchewan, I was actually the only Black student in my class. So that was hard, also being the only person in a larger body, because again, when we think of a nutritionist, we're thinking of someone in a small body. So it has been a challenge to just fight that stigma, to show that there's health at every size. It has nothing to do with your knowledge or your skills or your worth and value as a person.
When I came, I can literally say that I lost my voice. The atmosphere was different. I came in winter of 2023, November. My street was totally quiet, and I'm coming from an environment where every day there's bustling activity. So coming at that time was a bit of a challenge. There was no one to talk to, and the very few people that you meet and say good morning to, they don't understand, so they don't even respond. I think 3 months into my program, the University of Regina organized an intercultural workshop. And that is what helped me to break my silence, because it gave me a voice. I kind of found myself again in a network of people who shared my story. I was able to realize that it's not just me, and this is just a path. It's the beginning, and I've got to work it.
Afro Tribes is a community organization I started with my wife, Amrachi Ejike. And our mandate is to promote cultural continuity, social health, youth engagement, women empowerment, and social justice. It's a work of art. So if you don't have, the financial resources to start off, or organizations that believe in what you're doing, then it becomes extremely difficult.
Leadership as a Black woman or a woman from an African descent, I find it to be, it's been a bit of a challenge. What I find is that, like even as a faculty administrator, there's a number of us at the table and the only Black person at that table. So there is a little bit of loneliness in that there's not a lot of Black women in leadership to look up to. But I also find that it actually does open doors for me in some ways. I'm able to be in this setting where people look at me and I can speak about the challenges that people like me face. I think it's a little bit of an influence that I get there that I think more and more of us need to be at tables like this.
Another challenge we've also faced is also getting the support from the community. We've also seen where people don't, initially see the belief or value in what we are doing, until they come for some of our programs and like, oh, wow, so this is what this is about.
Currently, the rising cost of living in Canada, in Regina, has been a challenge. In fact, especially with tuition, it has totally thrown my budget off.
Some of the challenges that I've faced, the one that I would like to highlight is implicit biasness. This is one thing that I'm becoming quite a bit passionate about. And it's one thing that I think I personally, go out of my way to make sure that I'm watching even within myself. In places like, for instance, when you're hiring, you see certain names and you think, with that name, you already have this bias with you about the hiring process. I have an accent, and so people assume that because you have this accent, you're not too smart. We do work with such amazing people. There are so many wonderful people, and they don't realize that they are being biased. It is unconscious. You walk into a room and people see you walk into a room, a Black woman and a white person, and immediately people assume that, the white person is the leader and you're sort of the person in the supporting role. And it can get to be hurtful, but it's not something that people are doing consciously. It's an assumption that they have at the back of their mind. And so how do we deal with things like this? How do we get people to recognize that they're doing this? So those are the type of things that I would absolutely want to see being looked at more, with more training opportunities.
When you're doing a work of art, you also need people to be kind, people to be gracious and understand that, hey, I'm not being paid to do this. I'm doing this to help the community.
At the end of my time in high school, I ended up losing a really large amount of weight. I couldn't keep up with such an extreme workout routine and nutrition routine. I ended up gaining all the weight back and more. And I got to a point of depression where I had to see a registered dietitian. So I actually went to see Amy Pickering, and she completely changed my perspective on food, movement, and my body. And because of that totally earth-shattering experience, it made me want to share that message with as many people that would listen. My brand is The Thick Nutritionist, and I've been doing that for about 7 years now. So I chose the name The Thick Nutritionist because when people typically think of a nutritionist, they're thinking of someone in a small body and usually someone who is white. So coming into this space as a Black woman in a larger body, I felt that I had to create a niche for myself because there are so many people that do benefit from having a provider in a larger body that can understand what they've been through. So by calling myself the Thick Nutritionist, I'm taking that back.
What's helping me is I do a lot of volunteering. helping people to settle, helping people deal with their own situations, you know, settle into the community. I do that on campus with the Ambassador program. I also do that with the Regina Open Door Society. And those are the things that have really helped me.
The first project we said was the Afro Tribe Kids Summer Camp, you know, where we bring kids together during the summer months and teach them arts from within our community and from our cultures. Another project we took on was the Afro Tribes Festival. And we also had another event, Love Jazz, which we had during the Black History Month. And it was also to celebrate, you know, the jazz music.
What helps me to flourish in my work? I have had some wonderful leadership. They're such genuinely honest people who are interested in helping you be the best you can be. The first thing that my director asked me was, what can I do to help you be successful in this position? Working with the staff, being able to hire the right people, people who actually are genuine and care about their job. These are the people that are working with the students, and the students are the ones who are going to be the future of you know, Saskatchewan and wherever else that they go to. In Swahili, it says, Mpandagazi hushuka. So the literal translation, the literal meaning is whoever goes up a ladder will come down at some point. But the actual meaning for it is pride comes before a fall. If you're filled with pride, then there is no room for knowledge, for accumulating knowledge.
My recommendation to the Black community would be, no one can help our community better than people from within the community.
For any fellow Black people that are also struggling with these issues that I've faced, I want you to remember that you are not alone, and it's okay for us to embrace our unique bodies the way that they are.
Do the right thing at the right place, at the right time, with the right intentions, and then do unto the other person what you'd have them do to you.
So my favorite African proverb, it's a Shona proverb, and it's Nasi Chineni, Mangwana Chinewe. Kindness and humanity being more important than anything. So basically, we all have our struggles, and life is truly a journey. So we can't laugh when someone is struggling, because you never know when you will be struggling yourself. So just remember to lead with kindness above anything else.